In this video, we're going to look at setting up a tile set to use with Godot. So I've already brought my tile set image in here to Godot right here. You'll want to go ahead and do that before continuing on with this tutorial. So the first thing we're going to do is make a scene that's going to contain our tile set. So I'm going to do a new custom node, and we are looking for tile map. So I'm going to go ahead and create that as my root node. And then over here you'll see that the tile set is empty. So I'm going to go ahead and new tile set, and I'm going to go ahead and set up the cell size. So you'll need to know what the size of each tile is. For the one that I've chosen here, which you can find the link for on D2L, I already know that the size is 32 by 32, so I'm just going to go ahead and set that up. This is something you'll need to know or find out when you make your tile set. So I'm going to click here where it says tile set, and that's going to go ahead and open up my tile set editor. So over here, we can see this little plus sign. So I'm going to hit plus to add a texture. I'm going to select the tile set image that I downloaded, hit open, and there it is. So you can go ahead and create tiles for whichever of these you want to use in your game. I'm just going to show a brief example, but you could do all of these or just one of them if you only plan to use just one. So the way you make a tile is you say new single tile, and then you can click the area you want. Now, what I'd rather have is that it has the grid, so it uses the grid. So I'm going to go ahead and click this little button, and that's going to turn on the grid for me. And then I can just select the grid to select tiles. So I'm going to do new single tile, and I'm going to go ahead and just create a couple tiles here. Again, you can set up as many or as few of these as you want. So the next thing you'll want to do once you've gotten your tiles set up is set up collisions for them. So you can do that by clicking on this collisions tab, and we want square collisions, and so you can click on the square and then click where you want the collision and make sure you get a little box there. If you see like it turning like yellow, that means you've got multiple collisions stacked up, so you can go ahead and hit delete until you get down to this light blue color, which is just one. So you can go ahead and set up collisions for the boxes that you want to have some sort of physical interaction, like the character is going to stand on them. You don't necessarily have to make collisions for all of your boxes. For example, this grass and this rock and maybe these signs and the flower, if I made those into tiles, I may not want those to be collisions. I may want those to just be kind of decorative elements that the player can just walk right by. So I'm going to wrap these up really quickly. Again, you'll want to do this for all of the tiles you've created. And then just real quick, just click through all these to make sure they are all set up the way I want. All right, and that looks good. So I'm going to go ahead and come up here to this corner and hit this little back arrow, which is going to take me to my scene again. And we can see here's the tiles that I've created. So I'm going to go ahead and change this in case you want to come back and edit your tile set again later. You'll have this scene there that you can edit and change things with. So I'm going to Control S. I'm just going to save this as tile map and save. Now what we need to do in order to use this in our level is save it as a resource. So in order to do that, what I'm going to do is come over here to where it says tile set, hit the little down arrow, and go to save. And it's going to save it as a file of tres. So you can give it the same name as you gave it before, just make sure you remember the difference between tres and tscene, or you can give it different names. If you do make changes, you'll probably want to change the name of the one you save out. Saving over the old one doesn't seem to work very well, and then just reload that in. So now that I've done that, I've got my tscene and my tres. I'm going to make a new scene that's going to be my actual level. So I made a new scene, I'm going to just give it a 2D, node 2D. I'm going to call this level 1. Level 1. I'm going to go ahead and just save this so that it's saved for me. And then what I can do here is I'm going to take my root node here and add a child node, again of type tile map. And where it says tile set, you can take your T resource and put it in there, or you can hit the little drop and do load, whichever way you want to, and that will bring you to the tile map. Let's head back up here. And once you've done that, you can use this little area over here to draw tiles. Now you'll note that right now this is incorrect. Our tile map is a different size than our scene. So what we do is exactly the same thing we did before. We come here to cell and we change that to the size that we actually want, which is 32 by 32. And then things will tile correctly. So the tile map, of course, is just a bunch of little pieces that can be used kind of to build a level, and you're kind of just reusing pieces here. So you can go ahead and build out your level, and then we will continue to making a player character.